Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn. Today I'm going to be doing this brown smoky eye for you guys. So if you want to learn how to create this look, stay tuned. So to start off, we're using the Too Faced Primer Poreless Skin Smoothing Face Primer, and I'm just going to be applying that in the T-zone, so mainly where my pores are a little bit larger, which will be on my cheeks, the middle of my forehead, my nose, and then my chin, and then I'll be kind of spreading out whatever is remaining over the rest of my face. Up next, I'm using the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and this is in the color Eden, and I'm just going to be applying that all over my lid, all the way up to the eyebrow. With this product in particular, a little bit goes a long way. Up next, I'm just using a dense, flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to be using a dark brown color from MAC. I don't actually know what the color is, but I will list it below, but pretty much any matte dark brown eyeshadow will work, and you're just going to be applying that all over the lid and a little bit into the crease as well. It doesn't really matter if it's messy because we will be using a different color in the crease to blend it out, so you just really want to make sure it's compact on the eyelid. Next, we're going to be using also another color from MAC. It's a pretty bright orange color. Again, I will list it below for you guys, but any sort of orange color. And I'm using just a fluffy blending brush, and you're going to put that all the way in the crease and just go back and forth. Up next, I'm just using a more smaller size brush, and we're dipping in the same dark brown color again, and we're going to be applying that underneath the eye, almost in the waterline, but you really just want to smudge it and kind of smoke out the bottom of the eye, and you can bring it all the way to the inner part of the eye as well. And then we're going to do the same with the orange color again, using the same brush. And this brush is from Makeupforever, and I will list the number and info of the brush below as well. Next, I'm using Soft and Gentle from MAC, and this color, we're using the same flat eyeshadow brush that we used to put the brown eyeshadow on the eyelid, but this time we're just going to apply it right underneath the brow bone and really bring it all the way to the inner part of the eye. And then I'm also applying a little bit in the inner corner of the eye as well. Up next, I'm just gonna brush the hair of my eyebrows. And then to actually do my eyebrows, I will be using the Dipped Brow in Taupe by Anastacia, however you like to pronounce it. And the brush that I'm using is a Sephora Pro angled liner brush in the number 22. I'm doing very light brush strokes. For me, I don't want my eyebrows to be super intense, so I'm just kind of going over the natural eyebrow that I already have just to fill it in, but I don't really make my brows that much larger or thicker. I'm just kind of filling in what I already have. And then going back with the same brush as before, I'm just kind of brushing it out so it doesn't look as thick and dark. So you just kind of want to thin it out a little bit. Up next, I'm using the Makeupforever. This is the Water Blend Face and Body Foundation. The number that I'm using is Y225, and I'm using the Beauty Blender to apply the foundation. So I'm just doing a couple of pump squeezes on the Beauty Blender, and then I'm going to be dabbing that right onto the face. This foundation, because it is water-based, is definitely a lighter foundation, but I find this foundation works really well with my skin, but you can definitely layer it as well. So if you do want it a little bit thicker, you can just add another layer. And I usually tend to add another layer in the T-zone and on the cheeks, just because that is where my pores are a little bit larger. So even though we did use the primer in that area, I still like to add a little bit of extra foundation in that specific area as well. And you also want to make sure that you're bringing it down to the neck as well, so that you don't get a line. So you want to make sure that you blend it out. So here I'm just applying a little bit of extra foundation in the cheek area. Next, I'm using the MAC Prep and Prime, and this is in Radiant Rose, and I'm just going to be applying that underneath the eye and in the T-zone, so on my nose, a little bit on my forehead, and then also a little bit onto my chin as well, and the Cupid's bow, of course. And to blend that out, I'm using a small beauty blender. I find that this kind of gives me the best results. I don't really like to use a brush, and I don't really like to use the large beauty blender, so this small one can really get in the corner of your eye there and underneath the eye as well. And you just want to lightly dab and press it into the skin. And you can see how it really brightens up the under eye area. I don't really like to use concealer because I find concealer sometimes gets a little bit too heavy and too cakey, and it kind of tends to crease underneath the eyes. So the MAC Prep and Prime is kind of all I need for underneath the eye. Up next, I'm setting my face with the Estee Lauder Double Matte Oil Control Pressed Powder, and this is in number 06 Transparent. And I'm just using a big condensed fluffy brush because I like to press it into the skin versus kind of dusting it over the skin. So I'm just lightly patting the setting powder all over my face. Next, I'm using a matte bronzer from MAC. I'll have to list it below because the label's kind of rubbed off, so I don't actually know what color this is. And then I'm just using a big fluffy brush to kind of get that in the cheekbone area. I actually decided to switch brushes just because I liked the other brush better, and it gives me a little bit more product onto the brush and then a little bit of a larger surface. So I'm just really carving out the cheekbones. And I like to use a bronzer instead of a darker contour powder because I am pretty light, so I find sometimes bronzers work a little bit better and look a little bit more natural than the dark contouring powders. I'm also applying a little bit underneath the chin and the jawbone to really carve out the jawbone, and a little bit on the side of the nose as well. I don't usually contour my nose a whole lot just because I find a lot of the times it looks a little bit overdone and too much, and you can really tell. So it's mainly just for a little bit of a bronze tone. Up next, I'm using the Strobe of Genius Illuminating Palette from NYX. This is by far one of the best finds that I was able to find at the drugstore because I believe it's only $30 and you get about, 2, 4, 6, 7 shades. And I will list the color that I'm using below, and I'm using the same brush that I used for the contour and just applying the highlight on the cheekbone, a little bit on the temple area as well. And then I'm also going to be applying a little bit on the bridge of the nose, the tip of the nose, and of course the Cupid's bow. Up next, I'm using the Wet n Wild blush, and I think the color is actually called Blush as well. Oh, actually, no, it is called Pearlescent Pink. This is number 325B, and I'm just applying that on the apples of my cheeks. Next, I'm attempting to curl my eyelashes, and this eyelash curler is from Tarte. And the mascara that I'm using is by Rimmel, and this is the Volume Colorist, and just in a extreme black. And I'm just doing one coat on my lashes and then the bottom lashes as well.